Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam. This is Sam.
I'm not a financial advisor, but this stock may be a great ticker to put $50 in before September 31st. The company is TEM, Healthcare Genomics, and they have a collaboration with AstraZeneca. So this is no penny stock. Let's jump into the chart and take a look at what they do to make sure we're being reasonable here. This is that breakout level up around 91.20. It's hidden under my average daily range label here. Side note, the average daily range is used to find stocks that have a range of over 5% a day. That gives you a better likelihood of getting a move, okay? Could be a move to the downside, right? The more volatile a stock is. And for that reason, the ideas on this channel are around spaces where you can get in with very minimal risk to the downside based on the previous week or so, which we can see here. These days are very compressed. So there's a higher likelihood that the following days will also be compressed if they are to this downside or sideways. However, it gives a higher likelihood as well, combined with that small likelihood of a large downside move with a high likelihood of a larger than average upside move. If that sounds straightforward, let me say it simply. The thing looks like it's about to go up and not down, and it's coiled up, and it looks like there's a lot of buying interest, and it's going sideways, and the volume's trailing off. And when it goes sideways and the volume trails off, there can be boom candles where the volume goes up. So how's that? It's also right near this left side peak that we mentioned exactly at 91.50.45 is that level. So if it gets above there, it really has blue skies because it IPO'd back in June, unless this was an uplist. So let's look at what this company does to make sure we are sort of pretending that we're fundamental investors. Although we don't want to be totally fundamental investors, otherwise our returns will be not great, right? Unless we're working with dozens of billions of dollars like Buffett. This is why this company is legitimate, okay? First off, SoftBank is on the cap table, okay? Well, not on their cap table, but they have SoftBank on their website, I'm sure, and they use it in all their investor relations, I would bet. ARK does own hundreds of thousands of shares. It's the 10th largest holding, 3% of the fund's out, so it's not a big holding, but it's a somewhat good signal given that ARK just broke out, okay, largely due to Tesla being one of its largest positions, but that's a positive signal. And these sort of updates that I scrolled over here are companies that are not in the public eye, but acquiring a genetics testing service for $600 million is no small move. They are looking at sort of niche disease collaborations, which we like to see. They actually know what they're doing, even if we don't know exactly what they're doing. That's why they're the scientists. And they are doing AI analytics stuff, okay, which those buzzwords are A+ buzzwords, okay. RNA-based algorithms sounds pretty biologically, technologically advanced to me, right? look, they're making partnerships, they're making moves. We're not on the board of this company. We just have to decide if we're going to buy some shares on the open market. And I think it's clear that if they're partnering for multiple years with Pfizer on hot sector initiatives and expanding existing collaborations with huge companies like AstraZeneca in oncology, as well as hundreds of millions of dollars in data licensing and model development fees to the company we're trying to invest in, it's a good sign. They're sort of the hub and spokes, the marketplace selling to these big companies, AstraZeneca as the example there, which is pretty great customer to have as your, I don't know if that's their largest customer, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. So if it hasn't sort of come out, what do? They basically do, you could have a radiologist look at an x-ray, or you could have a robot look at an x-ray, okay? And that's what they're doing, okay? Imaging. These are the similar tickers. Beam, NTLA, and CRSP are the ones that probably have the most retail interest. CRSP is in a pretty solid spot. Beam is in a pretty solid spot. And NTLA is also in a pretty solid spot. Although I wouldn't buy it today, given that it's extended. This is another indicator along with the average daily range that is fruitful. The distance from the 200-day moving average, which is 50%, and that's above the 30% that would typically be healthy. So this is the stock, DEM. That's the place to buy it. Well, over that level, it has the opportunity to be totally unhindered by previous buyers. And it's possible these guys already sold. Typically 6 months is about the timeline you look for bag holders to exist. After 6 months, it's less likely that those guys are still holding that stock. They might have sold as it got up to almost their position, if not their exact entry. We talked about what they did. They did have this Q2 earnings that was a loss. However, it's common to have a loss and still be worth investing in. Otherwise, again, there would be no startup growth stories. That's a lot of money. Okay, that was a few years ago, but this is a huge, huge, huge company. It is an $88 stock. It's not a no-name stock, Tempus AI, although it's certainly not in Wall Street Journal or anything like that often. And then for Q2, this is the first indicator of a move in the next few months. Earnings was about a month ago, so we're still getting in before the real takeoff, if the takeoff is to occur. Hundreds of millions of revenue, almost 100% year-over-year increase. Genomics revenue up. I'm not exactly sure what this means. I think this refers to half of 2023's total. So we'll work with that number. Genomics revenue is up a lot, which I think is good, not being a biotech expert. Genomics sounds pretty advanced. Maybe will be a bigger segment in the future. And then look, they have some profit. They did have the loss. They did have a net loss. Huge improvement on that net loss. And I think that's the story here. Okay? So, looks like they've got some outstanding debt. This looks like a pretty favorable rate. I'm not a debt investor, but I think we have enough puzzle pieces here to say, in terms of tossing some money in this thing and being ready to bail if it goes down, we got that $1-2 risk with $10, $20 or more upside. And everything else pretty much falls by the wayside in terms of importance when you've got that and a ton of investors who do exceptionally well. Mind you, look at the chart, see that, and pile in, not even know if Tempest is some type of music tempo service, like a metronome, or what it is. It doesn't even have AI, as something that it is immediately clear based on the name of the ticker, the name of the company, or the sector, which is regenerative medicine. Okay, it's not synonymous with AI, but yeah, Tempest AI. It is in the actual company name. All right, I'll shut up now. If you guys like these breakdowns, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want to talk, go to stockscommunity.com. You can join for $25. Keeps the bots out. It also shows you're a little bit serious. Might be worth it. 7 days, try it out. We can chat there. As we grow this community, there could be other folks in there who you can bounce ideas off of. You can help each other. It could be pretty fruitful and collaborative. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 This is Sam Putnam.